Okay, everyone, settle in. It's one of those quiet winter nights, isn't it? The kind where everything outside just feels still.
Perfect for some unsettling stories.
Exactly. We received some really chilling accounts, originally shared on the Horror Docs YouTube channel, and we wanted to share them with you tonight. We're not doing a super deep analysis today, more like journeying into these tales.
Yeah, exploring these encounters people had on cold, isolated winter nights, when the world seems asleep, but maybe it isn't.
Right. So these stories come from a collection someone shared with us, real-life experiences from winter. We're going to tell them just as they were laid out in the source material.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, we're heading to remote western Wyoming. Picture this. A really small town, maybe 40, 50 buildings total.
Tiny.
Yeah. The person telling the story lived in this isolated cottage, kind of down a trail, away from the main part of town. They said it was peaceful, living alone. Well, alone with their dog, Sam.
That setup is classic, isn't it? The piece of isolation, right before it turns into vulnerability.
You nailed it. So their routine was simple. Part of it was walking Sam in the woods behind the house, usually around 5 p.m., just as the sun started going down.
Middle of winter, light snowfall, you said?
Yep, light snow falling. They're about 20 minutes into the walk, decide it's time to head back. And on the way back, Sam just stops. Head up, alert, staring into the woods ahead. But there's nothing there, just woods getting dark.
Dogs know things. Or sense things, maybe.
They kept walking. Sam followed. But then, just a few steps later, they see something on their path.
Footprints. The source was specific about this, right? In the snow on their own trail.
Exactly. But it wasn't just that there were footprints, it was the direction.
Oh,
they went across the trail. Yeah. Straight through the trees, heading towards the house.
Not along the trail. Okay, that's immediately wrong.
Totally wrong. And they had to be fresh. Super recent. Because they would have seen them on the way out otherwise.
So someone walked through the trees, crossed their path, heading for their isolated house, just minutes before they came back.
That's when the feeling hit. That deep, unnerving feeling. They start walking faster, pulling Sam along. The snow's picking up now, visibility getting worse.
Of course.
By the time they get back to the edge of the trees, they can barely even see the house through the snow. And that bad feeling, it just gets stronger the closer they get.
That switch from a normal walk to this, the dread must have been intense, knowing someone was potentially heading for your safe space.
So they get to the front door, hurry inside. Sam seems okay, maybe a little relief washes over them for a second. But those footprints, they can't shake it.
Couldn't just leave it.
No way. Had to check. So they grab their coat again, thinking, for peace of mind, maybe the snow would cover whatever it was quickly. It's properly dark now, heavy snow coming down. They walk around the side of the house, the left side, don't see anything. And then suddenly, Sam starts barking like crazy from inside the house.
Oh.
That sound just sends them running. Back around to the front door, burst inside, calling for Sam. They find him at the back door, tail tucked, laser focused on that door, just staring.
Oh, wow.
Adrenaline is pumping. And then they see it. Something simple, but absolutely terrifying.
What was it?
Water. On the floor. Right inside the house, by the doormat at the back door.
Water, meaning melted snow, meaning someone was right there.
Exactly. Not just tracks outside near the house.
Yep.
Someone had been standing right on the doormat, inside the threshold, probably trying the handle.
Chilling. Absolutely chilling.
They flick on the backyard light to confirm. And, yep, clear footprints leading right up to the back door and then leading back out and around the side of the house.
Proof. Someone was there, tried to get in.
So now it's real. They grab their hunting rifle. Not ideal. They admit in the account, but it looks intimidating.
Better than nothing.
But they feel trapped. Who was it? Where are they now? What did they want? The footprints led off towards the right side of the house. So they run over to that side of the house, flick on the lights inside, yank open the blinds on the window looking out to that side yard.
Okay, heart must be pounding.
And just as the blinds snap open, they hear it. Loud, heavy footsteps running away from the window. Right then, Sam goes nuts again, barking.
They heard them, running away from the window.
Heard them, but couldn't see a thing through the driving snow. Just the sound.
And in a place that remote, police aren't exactly next door, are they?
No, the account mentions that. Police service is limited. They knew they were pretty much on their own in that moment.
Terrifying sense of isolation.
They stayed on high alert for hours, just waiting, listening. But that seemed to be the end of it. Nothing else happened.
Wow.
They called the police the next morning, filed a report, but the source says nothing ever came of it. No answers. Just unanswered questions.
Who was it? Why pick that house?
Exactly. The lasting impact for them was, well, feeling a lot less comfortable with the isolation, understandably, but also incredibly grateful for Sam.
The dog probably saved them. Barking likely scared the person off for good.
Very likely. Okay, let's shift gears. Story number 2. Different kind of isolation this time.
Right, the college dorm.
Yeah, a student staying late in a nearly empty dorm over winter break, just waiting for their parents to pick them up on the last day the building was open.
That quiet in a normally busy place. It has its own creepiness. All your friends gone, just echoey hallways.
Totally. So it's the night before the parents are due to arrive. Around 10 p.m., student settles into bed, lights off. And maybe 5 minutes later,
A knock?
a knock at the door, which is startling, right?
Yeah.
Huge empty building, 10 o'clock at night. Who could that possibly be?
No one should be there, really.
So they get up, kind of cautiously, open the door. And there's this guy standing there. Big guy.
Yeah.
Young, bundled up in winter clothes, look like maybe another student. He asks, kind of awkwardly, if they'd seen a guy here. Describes some features but doesn't give a name.
Vague.
The student is confused, obviously. Asks him why. Give me some context here.
Good question. And the guy's answer.
This is where it gets weird, according to the source. He sort of stumbles over his words, seems hesitant, and finally says, he's the guy's roommate. And he doesn't know where he went.
Wait, roommate, but
Yeah.
didn't use a name. That doesn't track at all. Big red flag right there.
Huge red flag. It makes no sense. And then comes the really bizarre request. He asks, can I check if he's in your room?
Whoa! No, absolutely not.
That's what the student thought. They immediately say no, try to close the door.
Good instinct.
But the guy puts his hand out, stops the door, pushes against it hard enough they can't shut it,
Yeah.
and insists again, can I just check if he's in your room?
Okay, now it's escalating. Physical intimidation. That's terrifying.
The student freezes, fear kicks in, realizes instantly, I shouldn't have opened the door. Now they're stuck.
What did they do?
Thinking incredibly fast, they actually backed up.
Yeah.
Let the guy push the door open fully,
Let him in.
let him open it. He kind of smiles, takes a couple of steps inside the room.
Yeah.
But the second he passes the student walks out. Out the door, into the empty hallway.
Smart. Turn the tables. Now the student's in the open space, the stranger is confined.
Exactly. The guy turns around, looks surprised, almost. Offended, the account says.
Offended. Wow.
He gives the room a quick glance, just looks around briefly, then walks back out into the hallway and leaves. Just walks away down the hall without another single word.
Nothing. No explanation. Just leaves.
Nothing. Gone.
Yeah.
Leaving the student just standing there, completely bewildered.
I'll bet. Trying to process what just happened.
And the more they thought about it, the weirder it got. Like, his appearance, the source mentions, melted snow on his coat. Red nose suggested he'd just come in from the freezing cold outside. But he was on the 3rd floor. Why come straight up there? Why ask this specific student in this specific room? How did he even know someone was in that room?
Out of potentially 100 empty rooms. Why that one?
Right. None of it added up. It
Yeah.
felt targeted, but nonsensical.
That disconnect between someone acting with purpose, but the purpose making zero logical sense, that's deeply unsettling.
They barely slept, obviously. Even moved a small dresser in front of the door. Next day, before their parents got there, they walked across the street to the police station.
Good move.
And when they told the officers what happened, the police seemed, well, way more interested than they expected. Started asking a lot of questions. After making sure the student wasn't involved, ruling them out as a suspect.
Which is interesting in itself, right? Why would they even suspect the student unless something serious was already going on?
Exactly. The police then explained why they were so interested. A student on the floor below theirs was missing.
Oh no.
Hadn't been seen since the morning before. His parents had just arrived and found his room empty. And get this, he had no roommate.
Making the stranger's story a complete lie. And making the case harder for the police.
Right. So this encounter, this bizarre interaction the student had, it was suddenly a potential lead in a missing person case.
Wow. What a twist.
The source says the case. It remained unsolved for years. Just went cold.
God, that's awful.
But for the student who told the story, the questions just lingered. How did that stranger know about the missing guy? Why lie about being a roommate? Why come to their room specifically?
Was the student just randomly targeted, or was there some connection they never understood? Could they have been a target too?
You just don't know. It couldn't have been an innocent search for a friend, not with all those inconsistencies in the missing person context, just a deeply disturbing loose end.
Yeah, that one stays with you.
Okay, one more story. This one shifts again. We're on the road now. A delivery driver.
For a grocery chain, right. Driving a big van.
Yeah, local chain. Driving one of those big delivery vans, like an 8 to 10 hour route between different stores, then back to the main warehouse at the end. Usually pretty low stress work, the account says.
But winter driving adds a layer, especially in a van. The source mentioned that. Less traction when it's empty, potential for valuable cargo earlier on.
Exactly. And this particular winter was worse than usual. More snow, more ice. So on this day, they finished their last delivery pretty late, maybe 8 p.m. Snow's piling up.
Road getting bad.
Yeah, increasingly unplowed as they head back towards the warehouse. Van's empty now, so they're driving extra carefully. Now, there's the main road back to the warehouse, but there's also this less busy side route. It kind of comes up from the south. Lots of the drivers use it, saves maybe 5 minutes.
A shortcut.
A shortcut. They were a bit worried it wouldn't be plowed, but decided to turn onto it anyway. And surprise, it was plowed. Reasonably plowed, barely any snow on it.
Which was unusual.
Very unusual, according to the driver. This road basically just leads to a bunch of warehouse buildings. It's not a priority route for the city plows at all.
Oh, okay.
But hey, they're thankful, right? Driving along at a steady pace, probably thinking about getting home.
And then
just boom.
Oh.
Ahead of them, the road is suddenly packed with snow. It's like a solid wall of unplowed snow blocking the entire way forward.
What? Out of nowhere.
Completely out of nowhere. They had to slam on the brakes, stop just short of hitting this huge pile of snow.
How is that even possible? A road plowed perfectly until it just stops.
That's what they're thinking. Total bewilderment, frustration. There's nowhere to easily turn the big van around. It's like the plow came all the way up this dead-end road and then just backed out. Makes no sense.
Something's very wrong.
They get out of the van, into the cold and the snow to take a look, and they see clear tire tracks from multiple vehicles before the snow pile, like leading up to where the plow line stopped.
Okay, so other vehicles had been there recently.
Yeah. Then, looking back down the road, just behind where they stopped the van, they spot something lying on the ground.
On the road?
On the plowed part of the road, yeah. They walk closer. It's a bunch of equipment, like parts to something mechanical.
Right.
Looked expensive, totally out of place there.
Equipment just lying there.
Looked like it maybe fell out of the back of a truck that was heading to one of the warehouses nearby. Just weird.
Definitely weird. Like a clue, but to what?
They get back in the van, start the annoying process of backing the big thing all the way back down the narrow plowed path. The whole time, they're feeling unsettled, like they stumbled onto a weird crime scene, is how the account puts it.
I get that feeling. It just doesn't add up.
So they back out, take the longer main route around to the warehouse entrance. As they're pulling up to the building, their work phone rings.
Oh.
It's the night manager calling, which, the driver notes, almost never happens. Extremely rare.
Okay, that raises the stakes. Why is the manager calling late at night?
They pick up. The manager sounds urgent. First thing he asks is, "Are you okay?" Then tells them, "Take the main entrance. Do not use the back route."
Whoa! He knew something.
The driver says, "Yeah, I'm already here at the main entrance. What's going on?" Goes inside immediately to find out why the manager sounded so panicked.
And the reason was?
Manager had just gotten off the phone with the warehouse next door. One of their drivers had just been jumped and robbed. On that specific back road. Minutes ago.
No way, on that road.
On that exact road.
Yeah.
Police were on their way right then, and suddenly, for our driver, everything clicks into place.
The plowed road, the sudden snow wall.
The equipment?
It was a trap. They tell the manager immediately about the blocked road, the weird snow pile, the equipment they saw lying there.
It all makes horrifying sense now.
The source wraps up by saying the thieves were caught later on. Turns out the expensive equipment they had stolen had trackers in it.
Smart. Got him. Yeah. And their confession explained everything. It was a group of young guys. They intentionally made that road a trap. They'd wait, follow a truck onto that dead-end shortcut route.
Use the snow to block it off completely.
Block the only way out with a huge pile of snow they made somehow. Then they'd approach the trapped truck, rob the cargo, hold the driver at gunpoint.
Oh my God. The driver, our driver,
was minutes away from driving right into that trap. From having a gun pointed at their head, van blocked, nowhere to go.
Just sheer luck they got there after the thieves had maybe finished with the other driver or were momentarily gone. Chilling.
Absolutely chilling.
No.
And, well, that brings us to the end of these accounts for tonight. 3 stories, 3 different situations, but all sharing that really unsettling feeling of something being deeply wrong on a cold winter night.
Yeah, what really stands out looking at these stories you shared is how ordinary details, footprints, a knock on the door, even a strangely plowed road, they become terrifying.
It's the context, right? The isolation, the unexpectedness. It just shatters your sense of safety. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the things that scare us the most don't announce themselves. They just slip into the quiet moments, the familiar routines, and turn everything upside down.
It really makes you think, for you listening. What is it in moments like these that truly feels the most vulnerable? Is it the potential physical threat? Or is it more that feeling of the predictable world suddenly breaking down around you? Something to consider.
We certainly hope you found these stories as gripping and maybe as thought-provoking as we did. And hey, if you like these kinds of unsettling true accounts, you can find more stories like the ones we drew from today over on the YouTube channel Horror Docs.
Yeah, definitely check them out.
Go give them a look. Maybe share their videos if you know others who enjoy this stuff. And hit that subscribe button over there so you don't miss their new releases. That's Horror Docs on YouTube.
Well, thank you for joining us for this storytelling session tonight. Until next time, please stay safe out there.
And maybe keep an extra eye out on those quiet winter nights.
Goodbye for now.